Today's topic is a sensitive one: alcoholism and relapse. What people don't see behind this label and judge it. We are going to talk about that. Welcome back, audience, to our weekly series of Building a Disease Free Society, where we uncover one hidden truth about better health. No fad diets, no cheat codes, just the facts about the health. Welcome back, Dr. Sodhi.
Thank you, Swathi. Addiction is not a lack of character. There is something going in your body and mind which creates a pattern, and that pattern becomes a disease.
Just a reminder, audience, this conversation is only for the awareness. This is not a medical advice. If you are having some symptoms, consult your local support and get a medical help. So, alcohol starts with just one drink at a party. People generally think that it's okay to have that one drink, and then the pattern continues. Can you tell our audience how does it actually start? What's the body is communicating?
So, Swati, you'll be very surprised to know the reality about alcohol addiction. It starts as young as 6, 7 years of age.
That's way too young.
Way too young. And you know how it happens? The household is drinking, is open, and the curious kid, daughter or son, he sneaks into alcohol and somehow he doesn't like it, but he thinks everybody else is drinking. Why don't I drink it too?
So it's okay if my parents are doing it. It's
I can
okay
also
for me
do it too.
Okay.
And then it's just the beginning of that pattern from there. But after that, what happens? The household atmosphere. What kind of relationship parents has? If they're fighting, they're bickering, is there a financial crisis? Is there a sudden death in the family?
So what I am hearing is alcoholism go way back to the childhood thing. It's something hidden in our childhood, maybe a trauma, maybe a stress that is undealt with, that just leads to alcoholism. Is it what?
Yep, that's actually what the psychologist says, that there is a lot of connection. How is upbringing, what kind of stress you're going in the childhood. There are lots of treatment which is given, like the alcohol withdrawal treatment. They give drugs for it. There is a drug which is kind of cause you to vomit.
So deep down there is something underlying which is not addressed properly.
That's right.
That is leading to alcoholism.
Exactly. And then once you establish that, then becomes a pattern. Then
You are
it's easy.
numbing something,
Numbing something.
and then you are just.
It's a very easy way out. Okay, let's grab a drink. I'm too stressed out today. I have a fight with my wife. Let me have a drink. I have a fight with my spouse. Let me have a drink. I'm too happy today. Let's have a drink.
We are not addressing the real issue.
No.
We are just putting band-aid on
Band-aid.
it, and then we are
That's
going
right.
forward. with
And
it.
we just keep rolling into same atmosphere. So it's like you get stuck in your own circle.
The spiral loop that we
Spiral
go
loop
on.
without breaking that loop.
Okay. So there are many rehabs, communities that help these people addressing the issues. What is your take on them?
They're helpful, but unfortunately, many people went into relapse again.
Yeah.
They go into relapses so many times. Because unless you address the deeper cause of it,
The triggers to relapse is what you are
you're
trying
not
to say.
going to solve it. And one of the, like, there are alcohol anonymous meeting. These are called AA meeting. Every city has, in America at least. I think now I've seen in India too. There are some centers there too. The first thing, when you work with this organization, when you stand up and you say, I'm alcoholic. So you are understanding that you have, accepting that you have a problem. Because most of us say, oh, no, I don't have a problem. I just take 2 drinks. And the wife will say, no, he doesn't drink. A mother will say, no, my son, no, he doesn't drink. So this is called codependent behavior. We are somehow enforcing that addiction pattern in them by denying it.
That's like the first nature of everybody, to just
Exactly.
deny. We do not go into the acceptance phase
No.
easily.
Yeah. And unless you accept it, you're not going to work on to cure it.
Okay, so what is the one trigger that you often see in your patients for the relapse? What is that one thing that they are not able to cope up?
Stress. Stress from any reasons. You just as we said earlier, the childhood traumas, abusive parenting, uh, the wording. You don't have to beat the kid. You use a wrong wording, and that wording just engrave on that kid's mind.
Psychology is what?
Exactly.
Cravings is what you are trying to say? Or am I getting it wrong?
No, you getting it wrong. I'm saying engrave means it just written in stone.
Oh, okay.
That deep seated wording which the father or mother used.
You're good for nothing.
Nothing.
You don't do this.
Exactly.
Well, okay.
That becomes a repetitive pattern in them. And so that's why you need to be very careful the word you choose in childhood.
That makes a long lasting impact on the child's brain.
Exactly. Very, very important. So I think the parent is funny, like there are, if you go to a medical school, there is some schooling you have to do, pre-med, you have to do medical school, then, and there is no schooling for getting the kids in your life.
Okay.
I'm of the opinion that the parents should have a schooling that how they should be bringing the soul into this world. What kind of languages can have
The
impact?
ideal school of parenting.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Because there is a lot to it.
We learn every single day.
Every day, yeah. So I think one of my opinion is actually I've said it many times that there should be schooling that how the mother and father should behave with themselves, because this is a pattern. You learn it. Like what your father did. If your father has been abusive to the mother, you will be abusive to your wife. So those patterns are learned, and the kids are like a sponge. They just suck it in. You don't have to say anything. So that very, very important that we don't go in that direction. And acceptance and then learning those things which we do wrong in our life is very, very important. And then you make a pattern to undo it.
So what I hear from you is it's not the alcohol that comes first. It's the underlying condition that's not dealt correctly.
Yeah, we don't deal with it correctly. That's very true. There's a lot of help available, but unless you say, okay, I have a problem, that's not, then those are all meaningless. That's why people go into relapses. Relapse is very common in chronic condition. It's not a failure. Something is not working at the deep psyche of you, and that you need to find out what is bothering me that I go for relapses again and again and again. It is a signal that make you go back to the same pressure again. What looks like a weakness, it is a biology under stress.
One word that is often related to addiction is obsession. I am obsessed with alcohol. I cannot live without it. So how can you distinguish between addiction and obsession, or are they two the same thing?
I will not distinct between these two different things. They're basically same thing.
Okay.
And we want to use different wording for it to make a case that alcohol is fine for you. Like we already talked about codependent behavior. So it can be also with you too. You also codependent. Okay, no, I'm okay. I can just take 2 drinks. I'll be fine. But that's not true. The alcohol will have similar effect if you have obsession or your addiction on your body. That is the bottom line.
So both goes hand in hand.
Hand in, exactly.
Okay. You talked about codependence. Codependence can be from family, spouse, or any relationship. How is family important here in addiction as well as helping in relapse?
Addiction patterns are very, very difficult to break. When I went to training many decades ago, we were taught actually how the family structure is so important. And you became a support system, and you know that there are going to be failure. So loving, unconditional loving relationship is very important here. Because your partner, your friend, your father, your mother will go into that relapse pattern. And rather than hitting them, rather than saying, okay, by God, they are a failure case, then they certainly are a failure case. We cannot give the hope. So I think they need a lot of help. And the person who is undergoing addiction patterns, he needs to collect a team of people around it where he can feel trusted, that he can depend back on his wife, husband, father, mother.
First of all, that person needs to talk. He needs to come up
Exactly.
with help.
That's
Once he raises that flag that, hey, I need help, there has to be someone supporting that person deep down there.
Exactly.
No matter what happens.
Otherwise, there's no way out of it.
Okay.
You just get caught up in the alcohol is bad for you. It damages your liver. It actually causes brain syndrome. People start forgetting things. The number one cause is cirrhosis of liver.
But still, alcohol is like the number one selling drink.
And I think this is a very sad. There are stories about it that how the alcohol was made legal in this country, and other like marijuana was put in the behind in the and became a punishable offense. I don't want to go into that marijuana because also there's also addiction pattern too. Anything which you use to alter your mind is addiction pattern. And sometimes it's small may be okay, but not too much may not be okay at all. So basically, I think you're right. First of all, I need to accept that I have issue with it, and if you don't, then you have to create a team around you, your friend. You can say, okay, before you're gonna pick up a glass for the drink, you're gonna call your friend or your therapist. So, oh, I'm getting craving for this alcohol today. What I need to do? He may be talking to you. He may come and help you. Say, okay, let me take you for a walk. Or let's go do something more creative. Let's go for fishing.
Understanding the craving is
Exactly.
what you are trying to say.
Exactly. So if you don't break the cycle, you just get caught up in again and again. If one path doesn't fit, it doesn't mean that recovery is impossible. We all are different, and our histories are different. We may need different kind of approaches to achieve the results.
If some people relapsed 4 or 5 times, what is your advice for that person?
Compassion.
Okay, everybody.
Love. Again, I think I see a lot of people struggling. They want to do it. They see that their kids are suffering. They see their wife is suffering. Their husband is suffering. Their parents are suffering.
What is that one trigger that you see in this pattern? What is that one trigger?
Again, I think there are many. There will be very hard to put a one point to it. But anything stressful situation which turns the language into the chemical dependency.
Okay.
So
it's just not the addiction. It's more or less numbing something inside you. Your
Yes.
body is trying to tell you something. You're not accepting it. You're just numbing it by giving alcohol.
More alcohol. So one of the things which they cannot be around alcohol. Even
but alcohol is easily available.
Exactly.
Anybody or everybody can get it.
Exactly. But that's But the thing is, families should keep alcohol away from their home. They cannot have any bottle of alcohol because it's easy for him to fall into trap. It's like you see that and easy for you to fall into that trap. And of course, they need a lot of counseling. And the whole family need a counseling, by the way. It's not only one person. The person who is going under addiction pattern, yes, he need it, but also the family, the spouse, what kind of wording she need to use, the kids, what kind of language they need to speak. So it becomes a bigger issue, by the way. It's not
only the verbal language, the body language, the care that
exactly.
they need to give to that person.
Yeah, and so I'm very happy to report that pranayama, breathing exercise, has shown to have a remarkable.
So I was coming on this only. What is that one Ayurvedic take on alcoholism and addiction? How can Ayurveda help?
So basically, when you are addicted to anything, smoking, alcohol, drugs, marijuana, sugar, yeah, or many other things, because we can be addicted. Some people are addicted to wearing the most expensive clothing. That's addiction pattern too, but we don't take that as a bad, But that is also a problem. So there is some brain chemicals we are triggering.
Something that satisfies us by doing that activity.
Exactly. But we can also trigger those similar kind of brain chemicals by doing some activity. And Ayurvedic is pranayama, breathing exercise.
Mm-hmm.
There have been papers published on veterans. The veterans has a lot of issues with the alcohol, drug abuse, and even homelessness. When they were given these rhythmic breathing exercises,
a pattern to their day.
Pattern to the day, they came out of it.
Oh, nice.
without taking any drug, like most of the treatment is you switch from one drug to like the opium, they will give methadone, so which then you have to detox from that one, which I'm not saying that is the bad, but your body can also make similar kind of chemicals.
So
And
what I'm hearing is take charge of your body.
Exactly.
Your body knows what to do. The willingness,
That's
the
right.
willpower that
That's
we
right.
often say
That's
is
right.
very important.
That's
here.
right. Going for a walk, will stimulate so many wonderful hormones in you, will give you like a wonderful energy. So we need to divert our attention from going into negative things, going into more positive. Food, sugar, alcohol, they're friends,
Okay, they go hand in hand.
hand in hand. When you stop alcohol, people start taking too much sugary thing. Now, and if you, it's a sad part, but the alcohol comes from the sugar. Anything you want to make alcohol, you have to have some sugary molecule, carbohydrate molecules to make into an alcohol. So you need to watch your mind where it's going, and you have to learn how to hold your horses.
Ekagrata.
That's right.
As in
One
Ayurveda.
pointedness. One pointedness. Exactly.
The point of stillness. You
Stillness.
only mentioned the power of shunya.
Exactly.
So I think we all need to go into that state when
Yeah.
we are having that.
On your point, I think we have talked about that many times too. There is so much garbage files which we create, and that is governing us. And that garbage files has a very less availability to our present life. It actually spoils our present. So we have to put a delete button. So I use this phrase a lot. Like in your computer, you create garbage file. What do? You
Right.
delete them. You delete them. And we don't do on our body. Write it down. When you write it down, 50% is done right there. You still have to work on the next 50%. And then you can see, okay, do I need to talk to my spouse? Do I need to talk to my father, my friend? How I can get that negativity out of me? Because basically the bottom line is that we are creating some negativity triggering the stress is triggering the chemical pathways we are gravitating to.
So it's the shame and the fear that puts you back in that loop again.
I think you have to open up yourself. We use the word called vulnerability. You open up yourself. You tell what are you feeling, what are your emotions, and what you're doing when you go under those fearful emotions. Your body is going into wrong patterns. When you discuss that with somebody you trust, you will be amazed that there is a change coming in you already.
As a community, how can we support alcoholics in their day-to-day life, or maybe help them come out of it?
So most of the time what happens, Swati, we do a shame model. Oh my God, you fall in again that trap, That's never gonna solve it. Okay. And then we use a pity model. Oh my God, that's not going to help it either.
It's love and compassion.
Exactly,
that helps
love
them.
and compassion. Yes, understand he has a problem or she has a problem, but then says, okay, what is my role? How I can support that person to help it out? It may be cooking some good food, maybe taking them to a walk, maybe says, okay, let's go do hiking together, and you see the enjoyment coming out of the hike will just override that symptoms amazingly. There is a center in Hawaii where they bring people with addictions and they do gardening and they go put their hand in the soil. Actually, interestingly, when you put your hand in the soil, the dirt bacteria has anti-stress properties. It triggers anti-stress in us. So there are many ways of doing. There's not only one way, but the old traditional ways like farming, spending time with the animals,
Nature.
bird, nature, dog, cat, because they don't ask you any question.
Non-judgmental.
Non-judgmental. When you pet a dog, he is going to be all over you.
It's the unconditional love.
Love, exactly. So I think everyone has a different niche. They need to find what is my weakness and how I can support that weakness. And then it can be food. Of course, healthy food. There's a garbage food which we all addicted to. I'm very sorry to say that most of the food which is available is a garbage food because we don't eat real food. Even the health food sells that packaged food which is a garbage food in my dictionary.
One packet you tear, you make a tear in your gut line.
I like that line. That's very good.
I think I get that.
Yeah, that's very true. I think one of these days we'll talk about the gut biome, and we have a Sanskrit phrase "Yatha Pinde, Tatha Brahmande." What is pind mean body? Yatha means what is true in the body is true in the universe. So we have a universe inside our gut, and addiction patterns are also part of that. We are feeding the wrong bacteria. These bacteria are making wrong chemicals. These wrong chemicals are saying, "Give me more alcohol."
We need to start listening to our body, what our body is saying. And we can be a silent support, maybe an ear or maybe a support to that person and just help them.
So I think this one thing which I've learned in my 45 years as a medical career, I hug my patient. Unconditional hug my patient. One of the things which we can all do, we be compassionate in approaching people with addiction. One simple thing, just giving them a hug, a warm, loving hug. And I actually almost, because I see a lot of cancer patients, I hug every cancer patient. And sometimes there's a tears in my eyes because it's not easy when you're facing that kind of sentence in your life. And addiction patterns are not very different. So give them a hug, warm, without judging them. You are helping them right there. When you start judging, we create a problem for them, and they have a more issue with the judging themselves. So it's a bad circle. We need to cut it off.
What do you wish people understand about addiction that people usually get wrong?
Healing begins when the shame ends.